Imagine if early humans were brilliant. They were intricately united with the entire world that they lived in. They could see long distances and they could hear things around them. Imagine if our early ancestors were awake, were all awakened beings living in harmony with each other. Imagine if we had elders who helped all the people always wake up. Imagine if we lived in a unity where our stories always told us that we belong, who we are, how we belong, and how we are to live as vibrant, awake people within an awake landscape. Isn't that a way better story than the story that we've been told of ignorant Stone Age man, running around bopping people over the head? What if we started living our lives with this as the story of who we say we are? What if our ancestors were these completely awake beings living within the landscape? Now think back to kind of your ancestors. Where did they come from? So many people watching these videos are from, the United States, and we're all the conquering people who came from other lands. But take yourself kind of back to the genetics of who you are. And then for those of us who are Europeans, our ancient ancestors only came up into those areas like 30,000 years ago. That's still a very short time when we're talking geological time. Take us way, way back to the warm countries where we lived just surrounded by food and each other. And imagine if this intelligence that we know we have today was just as ripe, if not riper, back then. Today we have so many luxuries, we don't even hardly have to pay attention. So we're trained to not notice. Today we're trained to just have our attention just stuck in a cell phone all the time, right? We're very, very worried about what this is going to do to the younger generation because it's turning their ability to think off. But you and I have had that same thing happen to us. It's just kind of been a steady progression. So let's imagine that we all come from these completely awake ancestors, and that coming home is us stepping back into that full aliveness. And now feel that this is possible for you. We are covered with conditionings, but they're only conditionings because of the fact that all the things that we believe really aren't real. They're easy to see through. And you see through them and boom, they're just gone. I mean, just think about the various illusions that you've, seen through in your life. The things that you've been told who you are, that you realize, I'm not that. Many people have been raised in relatively abusive households where you're told you're stupid, you're bad all day long. But actually you can start, if you can see through that, you're like, no, I'm not that. I am not that thing you told me I was. I am a vastly connected being with, infinite possibilities for thinking and seeing. So let's rewrite this story of who we are, and that completely rewrites the vision of who we are as spiritual people. Instead of us being a person who is trying to find spirituality, know that we are deeply spiritual people to start out with, because we have this ability to see beauty, to see the unity, to speak about it with each other. So we are already deeply spiritual human beings, learning to live in a very complicated world that needs us as fully awake humans. Because of the fact that the awake world needs us awake, we should know that it's calling to us and it's available. We can step into it by going quiet in our minds and just seeing what's real and what's true.